Hi, I'm Tim Tyler, and this is a video about manipulative futurism. And in summary, a lot of futurism is biased and is intended to manipulate. It's a fundamental part of the operation of the human brain to predict the future. Our minds constantly make predictions and then compare those predictions with what's actually happened, and then any differences are examined and are incorporated into our model of the world. One of the main reasons we make predictions is to choose between our possible actions. So we consider our possible actions and look at their possible consequences, and then based on which of those consequences we prefer the most, we choose the action that leads to those consequences. When we're trying to make decisions for ourselves, our model of the world is often as accurate as we can make it. However, there are other circumstances where we're trying to make predictions in the context of a social group, and then predictions are not always so reliable. Sometimes if you're in a group where there's a lot of other people that have your interests at heart, say you're in part of a large company that's where everybody is trying to work towards the same goals, then predictions then can be made as accurate as possible as well. However, there's a lot of cases where the social group includes people who have conflicts of interests, and then you find a lot of futurism that's oriented around advocacy and manipulation. So, for example, one individual might want to predict a future where, when they get married to their loved one, they live in a future where the two of them live happily together ever after, and that's positive. So that might be an argument from one partner for getting married, but the predicted future is designed to manipulate the other partner into agreeing to the marriage proposal. So that's a case of a kind of an advocacy situation. And then there's the opposite of advocacy, which is when you're facing an opponent. So, for example, an individual who works for a company might advise somebody to not purchase a competitor's product because the competitor is predicted to go bust in the immediate future, and then you wouldn't have any support. And this is kind of a marketing strategy often known as fear, uncertainty and doubt, and it basically involves making negative predictions about certain aspects of the future in order to discourage certain types of purchasing behaviour. And another example would be a straightforward case of manipulation. Say I tell you that I think the stock market is going to crash tomorrow, and I paint a convincing picture where that actually happens. Then you might want to sell all your shares, and then your shares can be purchased at a lower price by one of my associates. And so I have an interest then in convincing you that the stock market is going to crash and that the end of the financial world is coming. And so one of my colleagues can then purchase all your stocks at a low rate. Another similar one is that the world's going to end soon, so let's enjoy ourselves now while we still can. And the sheer amount of kind of positive thinking and manipulation that's going on is quite large. It's quite rare to have a social group where everybody is operating together as a coherent whole. More often than not, there's always factions that are advocating their individual positions, and then you get a type of futurism which is biased towards presenting positive alternatives for the futures the individuals prefer. Often the biases are quite large as well. The biases can't be too big so that they're detected, but often people deliberately distort the future in order to present a positive picture to the people who they're making their case for. So, and often if you actually hear a prediction, then one of the kind of results of what I've been saying is that the prediction itself is likely to be quite biased, because one of the main reasons people paint positive pictures and then show them to other people is to manipulate them. So often when you hear predictions, they're inaccurate predictions which are deliberately biased by the people who are creating them. So often if you're hearing a prediction and you're not in a situation where you're surrounded by everybody who's bearing your interests in heart, then the first thing you should think is, what is this person trying to sell me, or what are they going to get out of convincing me that this future is accurate? So that's my video. Enjoy.